Hey, I'm Ben Silverio,
And I'm Ansel Birch.
and it's
Time to party.
Yeah.
Woo! We are not doctors. We don't give medical advice. Please drink responsibly. This episode was recorded on January 29th, 2026, before the fall of the Union.
Yes. Do you believe in life after love? I could feel something
Inside me say, really don't think strong enough, no.
See, we got to another one.
Yep.
See, we know 3 Cher songs.
I will be honest, a lot of that was just me trying not to do Gypsies, Tramps, and Thieves.
Oh.
And now I have to decide whether or not to bleep out the first word in the recording.
Oh, man. Party people, welcome back. This is Time to Party, where we examine some beloved time travel media and let you know whether it's worth your time. I'm Ben Silverio, joined as always by the phenomenal, the wonderfully bearded.
Ansel Birch. That's right. That's me.
Haha.
The indecisionist.
Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, dun, dun.
Yes, we here at Time to Party love getting a party started in a number of ways. That's why we break things down into 3 parts. And if you've been here all month, you heard our drinking and smoking game for your rewatch of the movie. You heard our review of the movie. And now you're here for some edutainment based on the movie. And if you haven't been paying attention, the movie this month,
The movie in question
is Groundhog Day.
Ugh. It was time. It was so time for us to finally do this movie.
We let this one slip through our fingers a bit. Because what season are we on now?
6, I think, technically.
Woof.
We were waiting for the time to be right, and the time is right. The stars are right.
Yeah. In that it's February now.
Uh-huh.
And it's the perfect time to do Groundhog Day.
And Groundhog Day falls on release day. Like that's
true.
Or fell on release day this month, which has not happened
totally
in our
planned that.
Yep. That's what put it across the line.
We did that. And if you do not know about this seminal classic, here's what our good friends at Letterboxd have to say. A narcissistic TV weatherman, along with his attractive but distant producer and his mawkish cameraman, is sent to report on Groundhog Day in the small town of Puxatawny, where he finds himself repeating the same day over and over. Mawkish?
Mawkish. Yeah.
Mawkish. What a word.
I mean, I know the word mawkish, but I don't know that I've ever heard it outside of like 18th century literature.
Poor Larry.
Yeah, right?
Just catching strays over here.
I love that they bothered to put Larry in the overview.
I know, like he's there, but is he a main character, would we say?
Tell me one thing about Larry aside from is cameraman. We even cut away before we find out if he's got kids.
It's true. We don't hear his answer to Phil when he finally takes an interest. Which takes a very long time. He's known Larry for a while.
Maybe that's why he already has a relationship with Larry. We don't need to see him build a relationship with Larry.
But it's like, how long into knowing your coworkers are you like, hey, do you have kids? Like, that's like day 1 shit.
You'd think. But not if you're as self-interested as Phil is.
But probably the better synopses that we've looked at. One of the better ones, right?
Yeah. That one covered a lot of good ground.
And it doesn't give too much away. It's nice and succinct.
It doesn't imply that he. I mean, I guess he does make himself better, but it's very explicit in the Rotten Tomatoes one. It's like, this
Yeah.
made him better.
Now you don't need to watch the movie, but you do need to watch the movie. You absolutely should watch the
You
movie.
do. It's so important.
It's so important. And, going along with things that are important, we here at Time to Party tend to be interested in many things. Our good friend Ansel hosts tabletop gaming. And if you were listening to the last episode, you may have joined.
That's right. That's right. And hey, if you are listening to this on release day, then I have great news for you. You just missed it. No, that's not true. If you're listening on release day, you still have another week. Pickup Con happens on the 20th through the 22nd this month. So you've still got time to get in for the good times. And if you are listening after that, don't worry, little babies. March 27th through the 29th is a coming. You can sign up for that starting on the 14th of March. So there is always more Pickup Con on the horizon.
Yeah, I may be a little biased, but I feel like Ansel is a pretty good storyteller.
Thank you. I don't always like to toot my own horn on that, but I have had some really good ones lately, and I'm starting to be like, yeah, maybe I'm really good at this.
Watch your back, Brendan Lee Mulligan.
That's because I'm gonna come give it a pat, and then we'll shake hands and have a great conversation.
Who's the other guy? Matt Mercer?
Matt Mercer, yeah.
Yeah.
Although I will say, I think Abria Iyengar is the better DM of the three. Like, I love Brennan. I think I could have a really good conversation with Brennan. Abria has such interesting choices that she's the one where I look at it and go, I could never. Brennan and Matt Mercer, I feel like I could get there. If I could do it as my whole job all the time, absolutely. I could get there. But Abria is on a whole other level.
I don't know if you'll get to Katie Maravich level, though.
Oh.
I mean, Dimension 20 on a bus.
D20 on a bus. That's right.
A classic series for tabletop gaming
I watched
fans.
all 6 seasons.
Oh man. And if you're in Philadelphia during release day, you should look for Labor of Love Pro Wrestling, because they have a show on the 20th, which is also my birthday. So come hang out with me.
There you go. Friday night. Womp womp.
Watch some Friday night wrestling at a bar.
I'm led to understand that's the best night for wrestling.
Yeah, Saturday night's all right for fighting, but Friday night's the best. See that?
I was not ready for that. That's so good.
See? We here at Time to Party have so many interests. And now, after seeing Groundhog Day again, through the lens of this podcast, we have a few more interests. So, Ansel, do you want to go first? Do you want me to go first?
I am not particularly picky. Right. So I can go first.
Okay.
I have an incredibly shallow dive for you.
Okay.
Because I looked into the thing that I thought would be really cool and would have all kinds of really interesting, like, lore and detail and stuff. And I found that it is exactly what you think it is. And there's not a whole lot there. But I think it is just as interesting even so. So what I wanted to talk about is satellite television transmission. We see the news truck that they drive from Pittsburgh to Punxsutawney has that satellite array on the top of it for them to beam their transmission up to space and then back down to Pittsburgh, where it can be transmitted as part of the newscast. Presumably, it was not live. There's never any implication that they are broadcasting live from Punxsutawney, which is too bad because they totally could have. But I understand it makes more sense for the story that he can sort of, goof it off a couple times. But that being said, satellite television involves a couple things that kind of give you an idea of when we probably started doing it. Which is to say, right after we started having satellites. So if you think back to your grade school talking about the space race, the big thing that kicked it all off was the launch of Sputnik in 1957, in October of 1957, so towards the end of the year. That's when everybody started going, shit, I guess we better crack down on all this space stuff. And then they kicked Laika up in Sputnik 2 not long thereafter. So, things really got cooking there at the end of the 50s. And we had the first satellite broadcast of television signal in 62. So 5 years between Sputnik and our first broadcast via satellite. It was bad. The first broadcast was apparently real crap. Which, I mean, as to be expected, I'm sure the signal on Alexander Graham Bell's first call was not super great, even though it was only over a short distance. But part of the challenge is that they didn't know what the precise time of the broadcast was going to be, because they were sort of just figuring it out and getting it to work as soon as they could. But it was just a little bit after 1 a.m. on July 11th of 1962. It was a British endeavor, but AT&T was involved as well. The chairman of AT&T at the time was the subject in the video, and it was sent from Britain. It was received in Britain and quite badly in Britain. Apparently, the signal was pretty good when it got to France, which is, and I didn't see any explanation as to why that would be. I don't know if there was something else going on. The one thing I saw is, and this is the part that made me still want to go through with it, even though there wasn't a lot of really interesting information around it, but I really wanted the opportunity to attempt to say this name. And this is the first time I'm saying it out loud, so I saved that for you guys. There doesn't seem to have been any issues with the transmission, which is probably why the French reception was good. But we do know that there were technical problems that were traced to a component in Goonhilly Down, where the reception aerial was placed for the British reception. So Goonhilly Down.
Red alert, Goonhilly Down.
Just just if you're trying to get a good clear signal, stay clear of Goonhilly Down. Although I have this wonderful Goonhilly Down jacket it's just so warm. It's a good insulator. But yeah, so they did transmit programs from France to America, and then later in that month, the BBC were the first ones producing complex broadcasts from Europe to the US. Satellite transmission, July 11th, 1962. That is when it all kicked off. And back then, television stations would have had specially designed receivers, like the one at Goonhilly Down, where the satellite would be pre-organized to point. That's the other thing, is like you had to know when the transmission was coming down and when it was sent and all that stuff, so you could decode it. The revelation that was the sort of at-home satellite reception dish, that didn't start until the 80s. It took another 20 years for us to get point-to-point to a home satellite capabilities. 82 is the number I'm seeing here. I don't know how reliable that is. But yeah, I just thought that was interesting. Plus, I wanted the chance to say Goonhilly Down. In a movie where we get to say Gobbler's Knob a couple times, Goonhilly Down feels like an important contribution to the conversation. Yeah, right? But yeah, so next time you're sending messages from your watch to outer space and getting impatient about it, just remember, it all goes back to 1962 when we first pulled it off.
Oh, that was delightful, Ansel. It reminded me of my my prereqs when I was a up and coming screenwriting student at Drexel University, where we had to take film courses and TV production courses because I'm
Mm-hmm.
a TV production minor. Um, put in that
Is this something
real
you
good
learned about?
use. It does remind me of something that our professor, the venerable Reverend Dave Culver, may he rest in peace, probably talked about in one of our classes. He was a wealth of knowledge when it came to the history of television and the various things that made it happen. So I'm sure he would have had some great stories to tell about this particular topic.
You've got a notebook somewhere with Goonhilly Down written in it.
Oh man. I mean, well, now that we're on the tangent, I remember hearing when Dave unfortunately passed away not too long ago, and a bunch of his students were sharing stories on Facebook and stuff. But one of my favorite memories from his class, I was taking a commercials class with him, where we were studying the history of commercials and the styles of which like they were made and stuff. And I remember making a 1950s style commercial with a jingle and everything, like it belonged in an episode of the Dick Van Dyke Show with some
That's
friends
cool.
in black and white. And I did it for Orbit Gum, and I wrote the jingle, and it might be on YouTube somewhere, but you you don't need to look for it. I mean, you,
That's
Ansel,
cool.
personally, I'll probably send it to you, but listeners, you don't
I'll
need to
put
look
it in
for
the
it.
show notes.
If it's even still there. But we'll see. But anyway, yeah. Um just a reminder that teachers are very important, and a great teacher can mold their students into some great people. And I'm really lucky that the Reverend was there, even though he had a group of us screenwriting students who couldn't who couldn't record sound for shit. But luckily he was real understanding.
That's good.
Ugh. But yeah, that was a great topic, Ansel. I decided to dive into, I guess, another invention that conveys media, storytelling in a way. And before we started rolling, I did ask you if we had covered this before, because it would have been very funny if in the time loop movie episode where we cover a topic that we've covered before, give you a little deja vu. But from what
I
I'm told, we
honestly
have not
considered
covered.
changing to something we'd done before just for the sake of it after you brought that up.
And now saddles.
Yeah.
Yes. But what I'm actually talking about today is a little tiny shallow dive into the history of clock radios. First of all, not radio clocks. That is a different thing, which is another thing that I learned while looking up this topic.
Wait,
Um,
what?
yeah, radio clocks. I guess
Are those
clocks
the ones
powered
that
by.
get the time as a transmission to them so they stay synced? Is that
Uh, I wasn't 100% on what it actually was, but I think it was. It definitely had something to do with radio waves. Um, but yeah, that's a
interesting?
we're gonna have to save that for another
Yeah, we're not
edutainment
talking about
segment.
that. Got it.
Yeah, we're talking about clock radios. And like the history of the cheesesteak here in Philadelphia, the history of the clock radio is rather contentious. And that's because the US Patent Office has no record on file for who really invented it.
Really?
Basically, the school of thought is that it was either James F. Reynolds or Paul L. Schroth Sr., because they both had their own version of a clock radio at the time. According to Reynolds' grandson, his grandfather invented the clock radio because the alarm on his wind-up clock stopped working. So he rigged together the key on the back of a clock to connect to the volume knob on a radio so that when the alarm went off, the key would spin the knob and turn up the volume on the radio. It's
That's brilliant.
yeah, it's very Doc Brown, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it's just a Rube Goldberg device. That's great.
Yeah. However, Belova, the famed watch manufacturer,
Mm-hmm.
also claims to have invented the first commercial clock radio in 1928. But finally, if you were to ask Harvard Business School, it was Benjamin Abrams of the Emerson Radio and Phonograph Corporation as being the founding father of this creation. Can't tell you if any of them are truly the inventor of this, but it seems like General Electric has been the one who was taking it to the next level because their Telecron Muse alarm 8H59 is considered the first clock radio to hit the market for consumers. And it's definitely closer to what we think about when we think of clock radios today, because the original ones, like from the guys that we were just talking about, they
Mm-hmm.
weren't exactly compact. They were big and bulky cabinets, as opposed to this version, which was designed, in 1945 to be smaller so that it could fit on your bedside table.
Mm. So the
GE would go
originals would have been like a whole piece of furniture on their own.
absolutely, yes.
Wow.
It looked like early televisions, in terms of the
Sure.
size. Yeah.
Wow.
So GE would go on to improve on their design, eventually introducing the snooze button in the model 7H241 in 1956. And that was marketed as the world's most humane alarm clock. Um, Interesting thing.
It's a great choice of
Why?
wording.
Yes. An interesting thing about the snooze button is that no matter what apparatus you're using today, the standardized time for snooze is still 9 minutes. Like it was 9 minutes back then, and it's still 9 minutes now. And I checked on my iPhone when I set my alarm, it lets you pick the duration of your snooze, and
Mm-hmm.
9 is the default.
It's the deep. Wow.
Yeah.
Huh.
So why is that? Originally, the machinations of the small alarm clock in the clock radio wouldn't allow for the gears that would make a longer duration of the snooze possible because it just wouldn't fit in the unit. So basically, a double digit snooze would have been harder to program. So the designers just took the easy route. Later on,
Mm.
scientists did say that 9 minutes is actually the perfect amount of time for a brief rest, since the body could fall back into deep sleep after 10 minutes. So, they
Oh.
made it work. Uh,
Just enough to not get too into it. All right.
exactly. Finally, if you're wondering about the clock radio that famously takes a beating in Groundhog Day again and again at the
Mm-hmm.
hands of Phil Connors, that is the Panasonic RC6025 flip clock radio from the 1970s. Panasonic seems to be the go-to when it comes to clock radios appearing on screen, because Panasonic products also appear in Back to the Future. That's
Mm-hmm.
the RC6015 model. And then the RC6067 model shows up in Home Alone.
Okay. Those are very important alarm clocks. So
Absolutely.
that's a coveted spot to get.
Look at that. That was like three very, very tiny edutainments in one.
That was very good. Yeah. I appreciate the specificity of the model types. Like
See?
that was some clutch detail there.
Yeah, this was a detailed lazy river. Very
Yeah.
this is like an immersive experience, lazy river, with
This
the ceiling and stuff, with the LED lights and stuff.
Yeah, yeah. You're not going to retain most of this, but it is cool.
Yes, exactly. Which is what we try to do here at Time to Party with our entertainment segment, right?
It's like a museum. It's here to inspire thought.
Absolutely.
Heavy on the muse.
Yes. If you're still with us, party people, we hope you enjoyed our showcase of Groundhog Day, which for whatever reason we didn't get around to until just now this season. It happens. Listen,
Yeah.
there's a lot of time travel movies out there.
There are. Well, and we were saving it for just the right time,
Exactly.
which is now.
Exactly. It was the right time, was right now with you, right here.
Yeah. Wow, that's two really good ones.
Oh,
Ben's
man.
on fire today.
I try. It's like, it's like I want to be good at this, maybe.
Well, it's working. It's working.
Maybe. If you'd like to join the conversation, wait. You can find us on the internet. I'm at bsilverio20 on whatever social media I'm still on.
And I am at the Indecisionist on all the social media I can be bothered to be on, which is mostly Meta and Blue Sky, although you can also find us on Letterboxd at that tag, where you can check out all the movies that we've seen and all the movies we're thinking about seeing. So come on over and check us out there.
Yeah, and if you're still on a platform that uses hashtags still, you can use the hashtag time2party. That's time, the number 2 party, to join the conversation.
This has been an Indecisionist production. Special thanks to April Moralba for our podcast art, and to Marlon Longett of Marlon and the Shakes for our amazing theme song. You can also check out our relative podcast over on the Indecisionist Network at the World Builders Society. Just dropped last month and already off to a banging start. So check that out. It's a combination podcast and Twitch stream experience. Although you can also catch the Twitch streams on YouTube. So it's all over the place. Search it, you'll find it.
You should definitely listen to it. Party people, if you're listening to this on release date, also, shoot me a tweet or whatever, because at the end of the week, it's my birthday.
It's his birthday.
Yay.
Yeah. Let's all give Ben some love for his birthday on Friday the 20th. Mark your calendars every year. Same Ben Day.
It'd be nice. It's my, I'm calling it my clerk's year because I'm turning 37 in a row. Hey, you get back
here.
I'm not even supposed to be here today.
Not even supposed to be here.
Yeah, I'm sure I'll get all philosophical in a social media post on or around that day with the whole meaning of the clerk's year thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So you can find him at bsilverio20, where he'll no doubt be saying that stuff at the end of the week.
You got it. Honestly, Ansel, what else is there left to say other than Bing?
Bing, bing.
Bing. Be excellent to each other.
And party on, dudes.
Bing, bing.
Bing, 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 bing.
Bing, bing. Just our theme song is Bings.